All right, aloha from the radio desk on Molokai, Hawaii. So I'm going to go through and give my final thoughts on the Rysamton model YK-M03. So first off, you saw my other videos. I did an unboxing video and some other reception videos. I've got a few hours on it, and the one thing you got to keep in mind with this radio, it is a $7.33 radio. It was cheap, so you can kind of feel that as soon as you take it out of the box. And there's a few things I'd watch out for. The telescopic antenna, it's short and it works well, but it's really stiff. And because of the way the case is, I just don't know how well that's going to last. I think it's probably going to get loose after a while. But in general, I think it's going to be all right if you be careful with it. But it's something to watch out for, and it's a lower end radio. Next is the stand. You saw that pop off when I did the unboxing video. It hasn't popped off since, but when you snap it in, it really snaps in there good, and then it's hard to get your fingers in there to pop it back out. And then it gets, it's kind of loose the way it is. So I don't know how long that's going to be, that'll last, or it might end up breaking off where you can't pop it back on. Strap has been good. There hasn't been an issue there. Next, I'll get to the tuning wheel. And at first, I thought that was really stiff. And going up and down and trying to tune in some stations or just going through a band. I did notice that it's got a click in it. So it gives you one click for a half a kilohertz. So 2 clicks for 1 kilohertz, which is kind of nice as you're going through. Kind of gives you a feel for the tuning. Now again, it's kind of two-sided because you kind of lose that little bit of play you might have to make the station come in better. But all in all, after you use it for a while, I got used to it and I didn't mind it. So actually, I think that's going to be pretty good. The one feature that I noticed right away that it did not have was a keypad with the numeric keypad, so you can just key in a frequency. So I thought that was going to be a big issue. It's not too bad going through FM where you're just turning the tuner. But when you're on shortwave and you've got all those bands, that could be a lot of spin into that tuner. But if you hold down this band button here when you get on shortwave, it'll actually cycle through the bands and it'll stop at the lowest frequency on each band. So then you're only going through each band and not going through everything all at once. So that did help out quite a bit. So that actually, before I found out that feature, I was thinking, all right, this probably isn't going to be worth it. But with that feature, it does make it workable, and it's definitely something you'd probably get used to. It's a little different when you have I've got the C crane there. I can just key it in, and it's not an issue. So it's something you'll have to work with, but it's definitely passable, and it's not really an issue just going through the bands. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And the other thing is the sound. While the sound quality is really good when you're talking about being a $7 radio, it does have that cheap, hollow, tinny type sound, just resonating from the cheaper box. And I'm sure the speaker is not that great either. But it's definitely passable though. It does sound pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead. I haven't done this yet on any of the videos. I'm gonna go ahead and pop it on FM really quick, and so you can kind of hear it. So you got a little bit of music going on there. It's still pretty good. I don't want to grab any copyright stuff there, but it's not bad. And when you're it's pretty sensitive. It picks up channels well on all the bands. The AM, FM, and shortwave. When you're more on the shortwave and FM, if you're holding your hand on the radio, it seems to take away some noise. So I don't know how often you're just going to keep it and turn it on and have it on a station where you're not going to be right by it or whatever. But if it's a small radio, you're going to be going through stuff. If you're listening to it, you're probably going to be adjusting the knobs and stuff like that. So it probably help to take some noise away. But otherwise, once you have your hand there, you do get a little distortion. And of course, it's not on every frequency. It's not on every channel or station. It just happens, on a few. So just another thing to keep in mind. So final thoughts. is it worth it? Should you get one? Absolutely. It's $7.33. It's cheap enough to keep one in your car, keep it put one in a backpack, buy a few of them, buy an extra one just in case you drop one. If it's the only shortwave you can get that you can afford, it'll definitely get you there. You can start listening in shortwave. Having the it's got the a digital readout, which actually makes it pretty nice for tuning, especially on shortwave. When you got the analog and you just got the needle kind of moving across, you're going by feel, and some people really like that a lot, and I don't mind it at all. But there's something to be said for the digital, and you can get there a little bit quicker when you're trying to find something. So yes, should you get? Yeah, it gets a thumbs up for me. I think it's a halfway decent radio for the price. Comparing it to the C Crane, it actually does pretty well. I did a comparison there, and it does really good. So it's something you'd want to consider to have an extra radio. Give it to somebody, get them into the hobby. But definitely consider getting one of these. And then if you do, leave a message in the comments. Tell me what your thoughts are. If you got any questions, leave them in the comments. And of course, like and subscribe if you like the content. And I'll do a couple more of these. I have a couple more coming. As you can see, I got some premieres coming up that you'll see. I also started a group on Reddit, Grundig Shortwave Radio. So you can go check that out and become a member. I put some reception videos on there, and some of these other videos that I'm doing with some reviews and some other equipment and stuff like that. So, all right, aloha from the radio desk on Molokai, Hawaii.